Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Bell Ringers podcast. Colin Daly here alongside Benjamin Goldstein. And folks, it has been a very, very, very long time since we've recorded a podcast. We've had a couple scheduling conflicts here and there, a couple trips. But we are back. It's been over a month. A lot has happened. As long as you are up to date on PhillySportsReports.com or my social media, Ben's social media, or our overall PSR social media, you should be up to date. But in case you're not, we will not only give you analysis and opinions, but we will recap everything that has happened over the last month and a half. And I'll tell you, there have been ups and downs. We've seen this team play some really good baseball like we have all season. We have also seen them play some atrocious baseball, some abysmal baseball. What are some other
abysmal
are bad?
It's rough right now. And it's actually, I recorded a pod with Phillies tailgate, Tyler.
Okay.
After Harper and Schwarber got injured, we recorded that. So that was good. But it's been a while since I've seen Mr. Colin Daly, who was he was in Europe for some reason. I don't know why he was there.
Yeah, sometimes I wonder that too. We'll get into that at the end of the podcast, though. Give you my highlights. I also have another European. This one's a baseball topic, though. We're also going to get into that at the end. I have a lot of opinions on that.
First of all, for a long one, people.
Yeah, right. But Ben, we have some things to talk about. Phillies related first, and I hate to do this to you, but we're going to start on the downside because the Phillies have not played good baseball recently.
No,
we can't hide it. I mean, they've lost 4 in a row. They've lost 6 straight series, I believe. Yeah.
Sounds right.
6 series in a row. Trey Turner, not Alec Boehm. Trey Turner and Brendan Marsh are a combined 11 for 83 over this stretch. I put that out on my Twitter today. I had to do the mental math in my head to update it.
5 straight series losses.
5 straight series losses. Hopefully I wasn't foreshadowing there.
Athletics, Pirates, Twins. Who'd we just play?
The Yankees.
Oh, Cleveland and then the Yankees.
Yeah.
Haven't won a series since they swept the Dodgers before the break.
And that was a completely different team. Now we're heading out west now, so we will see the Dodgers. But that was a completely different team. Completely different squad. And it's unsettling to a point. Trey Turner at that point was his best hitter in the league. Bryce Harper was coming off the month where he won National League Player of the Month, right? Chris Sanchez, Ranger Suarez were both dominant starters at that point. Now we've seen the two of them. Ranger Suarez has hit the injured list. Christopher Sanchez has struggled a little bit over his last 3 starts. I think today you can put an asterisk next to there was only 1 inning where he really struggled. He threw 4 2/3 really good innings. And then he had the 1 inning where he allowed the grand slam. And then when he came out of the game, Jose Ruiz allowed a double that added 2 more runs to his final line for the day. So obviously Sanchez ran into a bit of bad luck number-wise today, but still, he's not as sharp as he was before. And the stats will back that up. He has an ERA. I think I saw today it's at least over 5. I think over 6 in the month of July. So clearly something is not right with his team right now. I guess I'll start with my analysis before I hand it over to Ben. We'll start on the pitching side, if that's cool with you.
Here, you take the pitching. I can take the offense because there's problems on both sides.
Yeah, I think the pitching issue is really just a bit of fatigue right now. The Phillies have a lot of guys who aren't overly experienced in their starting rotation, right? Ranger Suarez has been healthy for the first time in a long time for most of this season, and he is quickly approaching his – oh, my laptop just shut off. Lovely. He is quickly approaching the maximum number of innings he's pitched in his entire career. He's up in the I would be able to get it right now. My laptop decided it needed to hibernate. So I can't get that. But I know he is at least he's within 30 innings um, of the most he's pitched in his career. Okay. Which is 155. Christopher Sanchez, I don't think he's ever thrown 100 innings before, and he has well surpassed that this season. And now we've seen his fastball velocity today was down about 2, maybe 3 miles per hour. His stuff was there. His changeup today was disgusting. He got a ton of swings and misses. Um, but he did not have the same effect that he's had in the beginning of the season. And I think you can attribute that to both of those two guys. Wheeler has been good. His start with the Yankees, I think, was just an anomaly. But he hasn't really shown any signs of regression. Nola, we know he is durable. And then the fifth spot, Tyler Phillips has been amazing. I mean, he's been so fun to watch. I saw him today at the game. He was out there standing on the top step, waving to fans. He's got those sunglasses that you see advertised on TikTok everywhere. I'm sure he has a nicer pair, but they look eerily similar. So yeah, I think right now and the Phillies are lucky because they have a lot of starting pitching depth. So I think you're going to see a phantom IL stint come for Christopher Sanchez after Ranger Suarez returns from the IL. I think Ranger Suarez might be a little phantom IL right now. It's just the general back soreness is why he's there now, unless I missed something. I think Sanchez is going to be next. Because here's the thing. He's not great, but you have Michael Mercado. We have Kobe Allard, who's been good in AAA recently. His first start in the major leagues wasn't great, but he had a tough opponent, right? So he gets another chance. You have Spencer Turnbull should be coming back from the IL within a month. Ranger Suarez should be coming back within a month. And then you have Taijuan Walker, who started a rehab assignment in AA today. So right there, that's like 8 guys you have that you can mix and match to get you through the regular season to make sure that everyone's well rested for the postseason. Now, I'm not saying the Phillies are going to go out and win 105 games if they take that approach. But I think the Phillies can be a team that comfortably wins 95 games and then has a very well-rested, prepared team for the playoffs and could potentially still win a division, which I think is super, super important given where the Phillies have been in the past and where they are now. Because if you look at especially we're talking pitching here, if you look at their history in the playoffs, their pitchers have gotten tired, right? Nola always tends to, I shouldn't say slack off, but tends to regress as you get into the championship series, and we saw it in the World Series in 2022. So if we can try and cut back on some of the innings, the pitches now, I think it's going to do wonders for them down the stretch. So I really just do think it's fatigue, it's innings, and unfortunately, pitchers are not built the same way they used to be. So I think that's my guess on what's going on with the pitching staff right now. But we'll have to see. But if I had to give one bold prediction, I think Sanchez is going to get some rest within the next month.
Another person I'm looking at with the pitching is Matt Strahm. Ever since the All-Star break, he has been struggling. Biggest thing I saw was that homer he allowed to Jazz Chisholm. I don't remember the count, but he left that ball up in the zone and Chisholm crushed it down the right field line, and that was the decider in the 12-inning game, was that home run. And Clay Holmes threw that wild pitch in the end. That's how the Phillies got those runs, which I'm going to get into the Phillies offense in a second. But Strahm has been struggling big time, and that was the one of the big arms you could go to, him and Hoffman. And now it's really Hoffman who's kind of carrying the load in the bullpen. You get Estevez, which we'll get into, but I mean, Strahm has looked bad.
Yeah, I want to get, if you don't mind, I'm going to go back to that for a second because the thing with Strahm, and you hit the nail on the head when you were talking about Chisholm Jr.'s home run 2 nights ago. Strahm is a pitcher that needs to dance around the plate, right? He can't, like Jose Alvarado, I can't use Gregory Soto as an example. I mean, I guess I can. I will. Soto, I'll do it again, Mr. Anthony Dominguez. Those guys who are upper 90s, they can very easily get away with missing over the plate and it not hurting them. Strahm doesn't have that. Strahm's a really good pitcher because you can give him a spot to throw the ball, and up until 2 weeks ago, he put the ball there every single time. I mean, he would just dot 91-mile-per-hour fastballs in the very bottom corner of the zone where it takes a really, really good hitter to get to. And then you mix it in with a slider, and then the occasional fastball way up and in by the hands, and that's a 3-pitch lethal mix right there. But if he can't pinpoint that fastball, that's the deciding factor. I've talked about this numerous times. For Aaron Nola, his deciding factor is that changeup. If his changeup is working even a little bit, it keeps hitters off balance enough that they can't anticipate the curveball, sit back, and then just mash it. Right? When Aaron Nola struggles, it's because he only has 2 pitches working. Matt Strahm needs his location. That's his key in, right? He needs to have that low fastball that he's able to control and put it where he wants it against lefties and righties in order to have success. That is a huge thing. And I totally forgot about Strahm, but he's going to need to figure out how to control his pitches better if the Phillies bullpen is going to do anything. Especially, and I know we're going to get into this in a second, but they don't have Soto, they don't have Dominguez, both of which have been, Dominguez was the high leverage guy in the past. He was great in the playoffs last year. And that Soto is actually pretty good of late. So, yeah, he needs to turn it around.
I just froze. And,
you're back?
Colin, you're back.
Oh, I'm back?
Yes.
Did I get through my spiel?
Yeah, I think so. I think you're good.
I'm sure I'm fine.
All right, so
Darren Spirit.
Yeah, best bullpen in baseball, Colin.
Yeah, so much for that.
Yeah, I thought we also had the best lineup in baseball, but I'm looking at the Phillies slash line since the All-Star break. Your 1 through 3 hitters, Schwarber's slash line since the break is 211, 392, 500. I do still like that 392 on base, but at 211 average isn't going to cut it. Trey Turner, who was insane before the All-Star break, 167, 231, 292 slash. And then, holy cow, Bryce Harper.
Boy.
I don't know. Colin, give me an analogy for Bryce Harper right now.
Well, I mean, I could go to the basic. He couldn't hit water if he fell off of a boat.
Yeah, 128, 163, 340 since the break. Brandon Marsh's slash line's also not good. Nick Castellanos and Bryson Stott have actually been pretty good as of recently. But my biggest point with this offense, they're not scoring runs. They're not driving in runs. They left the bases loaded in the 9th and 10th inning, the night where they lost in 12 to the Yankees. They did it again on Wednesday afternoon in the later innings. They're doing it so often, and they're hitting into so many double plays. Harper did it again to end the game Wednesday, and Harper, I think, is the biggest story of this bad offense. His last 7 games, he's slashing .033, .094, and .133. He has 1 hit in his last 30 at bats, and it's a home run.
Yeah.
He has 2 walks, 10 strikeouts.
And I will say,
he's missing a lot of pitches that he usually crushes. And it's a problem because when Harper's not hitting, the entire lineup isn't hitting. And we've seen this before. We're seeing it again. And the runs, they're not scoring the runs. And could they have used the bat at the deadline that could have driven in more runs? Maybe. But it doesn't matter when your superstars aren't even getting on base. And that's the biggest problem. Schwarber, Harper, JT, Castellanos, they are not getting the job done. And that's the biggest problem right now. And maybe the IBX patch on the sleeve will fix it.
Hey, we should talk about that too. So now you have to remember, I did not see Harper's hot streak. I was away.
It was hot.
Yeah, that's what I saw. I mean, I watched 1 game while I was away. Actually, there was one day when I woke up and the Phillies were playing. That was super strange. Anyway, so from what I can see is that and this has always been a thing, is when Harper is not playing well, he is not playing well. Like, he is bad right now. His swings aren't good. His body's not in sync. His hands get way in front of his hips. His front foot falls out. Really, his entire front side's falling out right now.
And you see a lot of that. One thing I saw the other night, and I've seen this repeatedly, that slider that kind of cuts across the zone, he usually mashes those to left field. He is fouling those off. And you don't,
or just missing them.
or he's just flat out missing it. And when Harper's on, he is smashing those sliders the opposite way. He's just completely missing them, which is the number one sign to me of a struggling Bryce Harper.
Yeah, and you know what? You know what Harper does too? When he faces a pitcher, a righty, with a very hard slider, he's able to bring his hands in and either hit it the other way and just get it over the third baseman's head, or he hits it hard and pulls it right down the first base line for a stand-up double. And his hands aren't getting there to that same spot anymore. And if his hands can't get there, his bat lags behind, and then his entire body's out of sync, which is why he's fouling them off, right? Because he's getting to them at a different point in the zone, which means that the angle of his bat's not going to stay the same, right? Because the trajectory of the baseball when it comes off the bat, it's all relative to the angle you have the bat on, right? If it hits the top of the bat, it's going to get popped up. Hits the bottom, it's going to go right into the ground. Right now, his hands are so far out in front or so far behind that he doesn't stand a chance to hit it within the angle of the field. He's got nothing going for him right now.
And Trey's been bad at the plate. Marsh has been bad at the plate. Or he's been hitting a little bit recently, but it's just like these big names are just not getting the job done. And when your superstars aren't getting the job done, how do you expect to score runs and win ball games?
You don't.
That's a problem.
You can't. Yeah. And I'll tell you, the other thing too is that they're not out here getting no hit. They're not hitting in sync, because the issue is they have these big gaps in the lineup that you have guys getting on base, and then you come up to your guys who are in the spots in the lineup that are designated for RBI guys. Bohm, Harper, Real Muto, Castellanos. 3 to 6 are supposed to be your guys that are driving runs in, and they're not doing that. That's the issue right now. I think that if this continues, there's going to have, and we saw it today, Austin Hayes hitting second. And to an extent, it worked. The Phillies put up 5 runs today, with what I would say was their B team lineup. They're going to have to make some sort of adjustment to the lineup, because I think that's a big thing right now, is that their RBI guys are awful with runners in scoring position. And it doesn't need to be a full revamp. I would say Austin Hayes could come up. Heck, bring Stott up. You have to switch something around, because you're 2 to 6. Outside of Castellanos, they're not getting it done. So something has to change.
Phillies are hitting 200 with the bases loaded in July. It's the 20th best in MLB. Since the All-Star break, it's .091 with the bases loaded.
Yeah. I'm not surprised.
Ball and play. They're not doing it.
Yeah. I'm telling you, and I know people are going to call me out for this, but I'm not asking for a full revamp of the lineup. Switch 2 guys. See what happens. If that doesn't work, put them back, switch another 2 guys. Or get 3 guys and do a little rotation, right? Something has to change here. Because I don't like changing the lineup. I really don't. I think guys need to be able to get into a routine. Like, coming from someone who plays, I'd like to know what situations I need to prepare myself for. And if you suddenly put me in the leadoff spot, or in the 3-hole or the 4-hole where I don't usually hit, then I'm not going to be prepared for that situation. Right now, I think if this goes on for more than another week, they're going to have to switch something up. And I know that they did bring Stott they moved him down in the lineup. But right now, he's been okay since the All-Star break. He's hitting, I think, roughly 300. So
He's been
I don't know if bring him back
okay.
up. Yeah, he's been AO. I don't know about okay, but he's been
Just okay.
I. People still
Aight.
say that Yeah, he's been
Aight.
because he hasn't hit anything for power. It's all singles, and not that much with runners in scoring position either. But
Yeah, he flew out the other night with the base load. On Tuesday night, where the Phillies lost in 12 innings, they went 5 for 18 with runners in scoring position, leaving 13 on base. That was the reason they lost that game. It's the reason they've lost a lot of games recently. But maybe there's some help on the way, Colin.
Well, hold on. Can we backtrack for a second?
We can backtrack.
Why they lose the game on
Tuesday?
Was that Tuesday? Yeah, it was Tuesday.
Yeah, when 12 innings. A major part is they left 13 runners on base.
I would say that Alec Boehm should have bunted in the 12th inning. So that would have solved all their problems.
Why did Weston Wilson hit a pinch hit before Edmundo Sosa?
I wish I had a good answer.
It all points back to the guy.
I don't know.
Maybe it all points back to the guy running the show.
Well, why can't we bunt? Like when you're the home team and you know you need a run, why are we not bunting? Like if you're the away team, I can kind of get it. But as the home team, you know what you need. If you need one, why aren't we bunting? It doesn't make any sense to me.
I will die on the hill that doesn't matter what your name is. If there's a situation you need to lay a bunt down, you lay the bunt down. It's something that has died recently, as strategy has died in the sport of baseball. So has the sacrifice bunt. But I don't know.
It's not hard.
I can do it. I don't even play baseball anymore.
I had a bunt base hit a couple days ago, right down the third base line.
Maybe you could be a solid middle of the order guy for the Phils. You can drive in runs.
Oh no! As soon as that ball starts spinning, that bunt's going straight up in the air.
Oh no,
straight
Rojas
to the catcher. Worse than Rojas.
All right,
but he needs to learn how to bunt too.
Before we talk about the trade deadline, I want to talk about our friends over at SeatGeek. Phillies are playing horrible right now, but hey, it's August 1st, and October is 2 months away. So SeatGeek is going to be your place for playoff tickets. Download the app. Use code Philly Sports Report. Save $20 off your first purchase. PHILLYSPORTSREPORT. Colin, what are you going to do?
Hold the S. Right now, they're holding the Phillies offense. Right? It's in jail somewhere. Put the S in jail, too. It's not welcome here.
Yeah, no S. So, down the SeatGeek app. Link in the description of the YouTube video. It's in the link. It's in links and social medias. It's in the podcast link. So make sure you go check out that. Thank you, SeatGeek, for sponsoring. Phillies made 4 deals at the deadline. They acquired Austin Hayes, Carlos Estevez, Tanner Banks, and 2 prospects while trading away Sir Anthony Dominguez, Christian Pache,
Gregory Soto.
2 prospects for Estevez, a prospect for Banks, and Gregory Soto. 2 deals with the O's, 1 with the Angels, 1 with the White Sox. You can talk about the prospects because I don't know about them.
Yeah, so I'm not going to lie. I haven't seen this feedback from many people. I love the trade deadline. I thought Dave Dombrowski did an excellent job. I really did. So what were your thoughts? I want to know, like, Underwhelming, overwhelming? What do you think?
I think he did exactly what I expected.
Yeah, like
didn't get the big name. The big name didn't really move. Didn't trade top prospects. And did fill the holes that needed to be filled. It's exactly what he needed to do. Would I have liked a bat that could drive in more runs? Yeah, but you didn't really see that move at all. So it was going to take Aiden Miller or Andrew Painter, maybe Justin Crawford. The Phillies were completely not listening to those two, maybe the third. Do I agree with it? Nah. But, this deadline didn't completely scream to me that the Phillies are all in, but it's exactly what I expected.
Yeah, you're again. I think you hit the nail on the head there. I don't know how to put this lightly, but if you expected anything else out of this deadline, then you need to just wake up. Because Dave Dombrowski, he does the same thing every year, and I'm okay with it. Right? The Phillies lineup, when they're on, there's not much that I want to change in there. Brandon Marsh is an everyday player. Nick Castellanos is an everyday player. Their entire infield is everyday players. Their catcher is an all-star. Their entire infield is essentially an all-star. They have 6 good starting pitchers, including the core 4 and Tyler Phillips. I'll put him in there for now. And Spencer Turnbull, who has more than deserved the right to be part of that group. Injuries have kind of set him backward. The only hole that I can see right now is in center field. I'm a true believer that if Brandon Marsh gets the opportunity to play every day, that he will be an average left fielder, if not an above average left fielder. And our only hole is in center field. I think Austin Hayes is a big upgrade. He was an all-star in 2023. He's in the age right now where we see most guys, tend to be in their prime. He did not get consistent playing time with Baltimore, but still posted what I would consider decent numbers. I mean, they're about league average across the board, which is much more than we've been getting from Johan Rojas offensively. And then you got 2 solid. I mean, Carlos Estevez is great. I've always been a huge Estevez fan. I've seen him shut down the Phillies. I can remember. I know last year, I can remember he just nailed the Phillies in the 9th inning as the Angels closer. And Tanner Banks, I think it was a decent deal. He wasn't a huge name, but he's good at getting out lefties. I think he's an upgrade over Gregory Soto, which I'm shocked that I would ever say Tanner Banks with a 4.08 ERA is an upgrade over Gregory Soto, but I think he might be. And I'd love to see what the Phillies pitching lab can do with Banks. Because if he's so good at getting lefties out, I bet you Caleb Kaufman and his staff can find a way to get that to apply to righties. Maybe not to the same, that same level, but at least to an extent. I'm happy with it. I really am.
Yeah, I'll start with Hayes. I mean, Sir Anthony's been not great. Pache's horrible. Is Austin Hayes an everyday player?
Yeah, he is.
I don't know. They're giving him the chance. He's been fine so far.
Look at his career numbers. What about that tells you not an everyday player?
We'll see. I'm happy with what he's done so far. 261 average in his career, 747 OPS in his career. We'll see where it goes. I just
his career numbers look really similar to Alec Boehm's.
Well, I mean, okay.
No, sure. They do.
Okay. Whatever you say.
Hold on. So if Alec Boehm came out next year and hit 260 with a low 700 OPS, would you put him on the bench and then trade him?
I mean, if we're getting
for 4 months,
if we're getting somebody by the name
if you're getting, I don't even know. I got all these.
If we're getting Juan Soto, I'm trading out
for Dominguez.
No.
Dominguez.
All right, Austin
All
Hayes.
the Austin
Austin
Hayes
Hayes,
slander. I
everyday
don't get
player.
it. And I like the prospects they got back from for Soto. Seth Johnson doesn't have a ton of value because he. Sorry, I should rephrase that. From the prospect pipeline, he wasn't overly touted because he had Tommy John surgery, so he's a 25-year-old in Double-A, so his career kind of got backtracked by that a little bit. But he's put up really, really good numbers this season. He's set to make his Double-A debut in the next couple days. Not Double-A, his Reading fighting Phillies debut in the next couple days. And then they got a pitcher it's reporting to High A, Chance, who I don't really know anything about him. I'll have to look into that later. But
I would love to
think
tell you, but my computer is being very slow.
Yeah, mine just I don't know. The charger, I don't have any open outlets and it's dead. So
Oh, here we go.
maybe it'll be back on.
Moises Chase has a 3.46 ERA in 17 games, including 9 starts. He has 76 strikeouts in 52 innings, including a 1.29.
Okay.
Johnson is the 12th ranked prospect in the Orioles system per Baseball America. 2.63 ERA in 18 starts, 1.32 WHIP, 61 strikeouts.
So yeah, he was decent. Is decent. I think that's a good deal. I think Seth Johnson could actually be a sneaky call up come October. The Phillies need bullpen help.
Little Ryan Kirkering type.
Yes, exactly. And then and I'll tell you with the Estevez trade, they gave up practically nothing.
Yeah, I was going to say that doing the deal early like Dombrowski did, you saw what the Padres gave up for Tanner Scott.
Oh, my gosh.
That was an unbelievable haul, and everybody should be bowing to Dave Dombrowski for doing the deal early and giving up as little as he did. 5-7 prospect, but, I mean, at least they didn't give up 20 prospects like the Marlins did for a reliever.
3 of their top 6, I think it was, or 3 of their top 7.
Yeah,
it was absurd.
And Carlos Estevez is really good.
Yeah, he was an all-star closer last year.
2.25 ERA in 36 games, 33 strikeouts. I think he has 20. He has 20 saves. 0.69 WHIP.
Yeah, those are like really good numbers. Yeah, I was thrilled with that trade. I'm a huge George Klassen fan. I followed him like since the day he got drafted by the Phillies. He pitched for the Minnesota. He's a hard throwing reliever. He struggled a bit in college, but really kind of found his way in the Phillies minor league system. So I hope he has good luck out west. But no, I can't complain too much.
The Tanner Banks deal. They gave up William Bergala. I don't care about prospects. People should know. I'm a friend of the program. Alex Carr was up in arms about Bergala leaving. What do you know about Bergala? And does it matter?
Yeah, I mean he's an infielder. He's had a pretty decent minor league career. He doesn't have a huge power bat. How many home runs does he have this? Do you have him up?
I don't have him up right now, but I have the article up that I wrote. He's hitting 297, 295, 795 OPS this season with Jersey Shore.
You know who he's always reminded me of?
No boy. Who?
Hernandez.
Who?
Cesar Hernandez.
Cesar Hernandez? That's not a great analogy. Cesar wasn't very good at the plate.
No, but that's who. I mean, he's a good defender. They signed him out of Venezuela. I know Alex really likes him. We talked about him on the pod a while ago. I'm okay with it. I really am. I don't think that he's gonna. I mean, I think he could be a good player. Maybe a little bit more of a fair comparison is Bryson Stott. But you have to remember he's also really, really young. So there's a lot of room for him to grow and develop. He only has one home run in his entire. So yeah, I was right about that. He's not a big power bat. One home run his entire minor league career. I don't know.
All right,
It's I'm
grade
indifferent is where I would say.
Austin Hayes, Carlos Estevez, Tanner Banks, 2 prospects. Grade Dombrowski's deadline. A to F.
B plus. B plus.
B plus. I was gonna go with
Yeah.
just the B flat.
Okay.
And not like the music note, like just B. I think that's a note. B flat.
You're talking to the wrong person.
My musical background that I don't have. All right,
I'm
so
the
that's
least
the deadline.
musically talented person ever.
This is where the Phillies sit. Happy or not, hopefully they figure it out.
They're gonna have to.
Yeah, and I think the best thing for them right now is to be going on an extensive road trip and to figure it out. They're going Seattle, Dodgers, and then Diamondbacks for a 10-game road trip starting Friday, off day Thursday. Friday they start in Seattle. I think it's a 3-3-4. 3-game in Arizona. Yeah, it's 3 games against Seattle, 3 against LA, and then 4 against Arizona, equaling 10.
Right.
How do you say fair? I don't know.
I think it's going to be a slow progression back to their winning ways. So I'll give them 5-5.
I was going to go 6-4.
Okay, I want them to get to 70 wins. That's why I'm going 5-5.
Yeah. Nobody in the league has 70 wins yet, and that's kind of sad.
Very sad.
Very sad. Very sad.
Yeah, it is. That's a little pathetic, actually.
Very pathetic.
Like, we should not be the best team in baseball right now.
Well, we're not anymore. We have the second best record in baseball. Cleveland trumped us.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
we'll get that. See, that's the team's motivation. Maybe if they see that and they'll really get fired up, and on Friday they're going to come in and destroy Seattle.
That would be great, but
it's not
something that is interesting is you went to Europe.
Oh, yeah.
You wanted to speak about it. I also want to hear about it.
Where should I start? A lot happened.
Where the heck did you go?
Well, so
the Phillies missed you, dude. I got a call from Bryce. He was like, "Bro, I missed my middle of the lineup catcher, Colin Daly."
That's great. Well, I do know that while I was gone, there was not much production from Garrett Stubbs.
No, Garrett Stubbs is the worst hitter I've ever seen.
Yeah,
he's so bad.
Which I think part of the conundrum there was that Rafael Marchand pretty good, because we haven't talked about that on a podcast recently. None of this was a thing when we last talked.
Yeah, why
Rafael Marchand debacle?
Stubbs a phantom injury and keep Marchand on this team? Because you can't trade Stubbs. You can't send him down.
He does have an option.
Give him a phantom injury.
That's kind of hard to do. You can do that with a pitcher.
He got hit.
Can't do that
in
with
the hand. He got hit in the hand when JT got reinstated the day before.
You can't. The whole point of a phantom IL is to get guys rest. I don't think you can do that with.
Well, he's just bad.
Yeah.
Like Garrett Stubbs is my guy, and I support him for many reasons. But he's just like the worst hitter I think I've ever seen.
I've seen worse, but
he's he might like. He's not a great catcher either. Like I don't think JT's a great catcher. Like his frame rate is terrible, but Stubbs is just bad at everything. He said his pop time's okay. And he's a good vibes guy.
Well, I think that's the whole reason he's on the team right now.
Yeah.
He drinks beer and wears onesies.
Overalls.
No,
Come on,
overall, that
Foco.
was close.
Use code PSR10
Sorry.
for 10% off.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I was torn about that. I can't lie. I couldn't make up my mind. I mean, at the end of the day, Marstrong's going to be back up in a month, so when I do September call-ups.
Yeah, it could happen. Probably be him and a pitcher, but we'll see. So how was like the other side of the world? Like where
it was neat. So we flew into Madrid. I spent 2.5 days in Madrid. I took a train to Barcelona, Spain, which was my favorite place that I went. I loved Barcelona. If you're ever there, check out La Rambla, which is like their Gothic quarter of the city. It is like amazing. It's basically just like a shopping and like food district. I got gelato. I had chocolate churros. A very, very good potato meal of some sorts. Not really totally sure what it was. It was delicious. I had the best iced coffee I've had in like a very long time. The coffee there was amazing. Because I don't know if you noticed about me, but I am like a coffee lover. Huge coffee guy. Every morning I take a coffee to school. I'm like an old man.
This kid's such a loser.
I know I am. No, I really am. The coffee there, like I can't drink Wawa coffee, right? It grosses me out. Because coffee there, it's so rich and flavorful and strong. It's amazing. Like the coffee in Spain, incredible. The coffee in Italy, incredible. Anyway, so we go. Barcelona was great. Our hotel had like 3 pools. We were right on the beach. From there, I went to the south of France. We visited a bunch of cities there. A small town that I cannot pronounce, Collioure, very, very small. Then we went to Nimes. Then we took a little detour. We went to Monaco, which is Monaco's the country. It's more famous for the city Monte Carlo, which you might have heard of. They're big with like F1 there. It has like one of the highest average net worths in the entire world. It's like well over $1 million. This is the crazy statistic. I can't remember the exact number, but the ratio of citizens to police officers was 1 to 70 something. That's crazy. So like for context, Horsham, which is the town that I live in, has 40 police officers, 41, and 27,000 people. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So like that's like 1 to 700, 1 to 600, 1 to 700. They have 1 to 70. It's absurd. It's like so safe. And the entire country itself of Monaco is 0.8 square miles. Very small. It's the second smallest country in the entire world. The Vatican is the smallest. We were there.
That's very small.
Yeah, it's like smaller than the town you live in.
Yeah.
Almost
absolutely. Which is pretty weird.
It's 17 times smaller than the town that I live in. More than that, actually. That was with generous rounding. So then we go back to France. We were in Nice. We went to, I feel like I'm missing a place. Maybe not. We didn't, Collioure, Nimes, Nice, Monaco. But we visited a couple different cities in the south of France. Nice wasn't overly interesting. They had some decent shopping there. We went to, from there, we went to Italy. We spent 2 days in Milan and then a half a day in Lake Como. Milan is super, super upscale shopping. The food was great. The food in Lake Como was amazing. In Lake Como, my lunch there, the day we were there, I ordered 2 entrees. Figured go big or go home. I got myself a Mediterranean sea bass and a seafood gnocchi.
What is a seafood, whatever that second word was?
Gnocchi is like a potato dumpling. I eat it here. Gnocchi's amazing. Then we went to Switzerland. We stayed up in a hotel on top of a mountain in the Swiss Alps. And then we traveled to Lucerne. We were in Lucerne for 2 days. Lucerne's incredible. Amazing place. I love Switzerland. Switzerland was probably my favorite country on the trip. I would say Barcelona in Spain was my favorite city because I hated Madrid. Couldn't stand Madrid. I'm
Why
sorry
didn't you like Madrid?
The people there were not the nicest to the tourists. The climate there is a very specific thing to me, but it's very dry. It only rains like 3 to 4 times per year. And my nose is very sensitive to like dry weather. So I got like bloody noses like multiple times while we were in Madrid.
That's not good.
Yeah, no. It's like a weird genetic thing. My cousin has the same exact issue. Will just like randomly start gushing blood. Like they don't get hit in the face, nothing.
Just starts.
Yeah.
Strange.
I'm shocked that it's never happened on the podcast before because it happens to me all the time. Anyway, so then after Switzerland, we took a train from Zurich, Switzerland, which is about an hour from our hotel, which was outside of Lucerne. We took a train to Paris. We spent 3 days, 5 days in Paris. I can't count. We were only supposed to, it was 5 days. We were only supposed to be there for 4 days. Our flight got canceled on the way home. So we stayed in Paris for an extra day.
Did you see all the Olympic stuff?
I did. It was very cool. So I actually took a river cruise down the same river that they did the opening ceremonies in.
Oh, wow.
I did it at night. So at the very end of the cruise, they take you up and down the Seine. And then when you come back around it's a 1 hour long cruise. The Eiffel Tower sparkles at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, and at midnight. And then it shuts off until dusk the following day. But no, Paris, a lot of people I was with did not like Paris. I thought it was great. It wasn't my favorite place.
Hold on. How do people not like Paris?
I can understand it. First of all, Paris is incredibly dirty. It's not clean. The river is disgusting.
Yeah.
It's vile. It smells. It doesn't look. And I know, and like I am taking an environmental biology class like right now, and I know that like just because a river looks dirty doesn't mean that it has contaminants and pollutants in it, but it has the look that makes it's deceptive. Really, it looks disgusting. It's like a brownish green color, and usually Paris is also very crowded. And I can understand why people didn't like it, but I'm also a city person. I love the city. Like I love Philadelphia. I love being in Philadelphia. I love New York City. I absolutely love New York City. So for me, Paris, it felt like I was in New York, but with like all the cool European things. So I loved Paris. I went to the famous bookstore, Shakespeare and Company. I went up the Eiffel Tower, very top floor. Had a great coffee on the Eiffel Tower. Saved the cup.
Of course, you got to save the cup.
Yeah. The coolest thing, you mentioned the Olympics, though, and then I'll be finished my tangent. Was I don't know if you've watched any of the Olympics. I'm not super into it. I'll watch the highlights. I love tennis. I'm a huge tennis fan. I go to the U.S. Open every year in Flushing Meadows. So I will follow the Olympic tennis. That's really it. I know Katie Ledecky just won a gold medal. I see stuff on Twitter. I don't actually like tune in and watch it unless it's a tennis match. But like they do the events just like scattered throughout the city. So like I would be like walking along the streets of Paris, like trying to find some place to eat lunch. And I would pass like the city skate park, like the local skate park, and it has like 1,000 bleachers just in the street. Like they literally just pick like your local little league field, and there you go. That's where they're having the and I know they don't have baseball, but that's where they'd have the baseball. Or like your local basketball court, just that's where they're gonna do basketball. It's crazy. Because like for all those small events like that, like this like skating, like roller skating and skateboarding. You're at your skate park, they just put up bleachers. It's crazy.
I'm a big fan of the breakdancing.
Oh really?
No.
I haven't seen it.
It's interesting. So this is a school, right?
It was.
All right, so I'm
Yeah.
transferring to Collins School.
Mm.
What was the best thing you ate?
I was hoping you were gonna ask that.
Yeah,
Or don't make fun. Um,
I really liked the pasta in Italy.
the gnocchi in Italy was great. Um, but I would say the best thing that I ate in Paris, I tried duck.
You
So
duck?
good. I ate a duck. Yeah, it was
Like
great.
okay.
Like
I know
quack duck.
someone that
Yeah.
had pizza that had duck on pizza,
Huh.
and they thought it was very good. People like I've never had duck,
It
but
tastes
people.
like sweet chicken.
Okay.
It's so good. I tried frogs. Um, they were okay. They were a pain to eat. There's so much bone in them, and it's not like like you know how when you eat a wing, it's like a straight bone.
Yeah,
No,
there's
like the
like they're
frog
like
leg bone's like a zigzag. It's a mess. I wasn't worth it. I had one, and I was like, I don't want to go through. It took me like 5 minutes to eat it. Like one singular frog leg. I'm not doing that again. Um,
I'm done with
and
the
then
frog.
I had an escargot twice, which that wasn't new for me. I had that before, but it was really good.
So the best thing you had, where did you have?
The
You had
duck.
it in Italy?
No, this was in Paris.
Oh, Paris. Okay.
Um, the coffee, like I said, was very good. I had a really good chocolate croissant in Nice.
Ooh, now
Um,
we're talking.
yeah. Oh, that was delicious. Um, and the gelato in Spain was delicious as well.
Feels like
Oh,
a good
the
segue
gelato in
for.
Spain is great.
Feels like a good segue for what you want to talk about. Speaking of,
Okay, yeah. So I'm gonna try and combine my Europe topic and my baseball, which is what we're usually used to on here. No, I don't remember what it's called. My laptop just. Oh no, didn't die. Coors Field, where the Rockies play. They have a new dessert. Um, it's called the Polar Pasta. So I don't know if Ben can find this and put it on the thing.
what
If
is
you
it
look
called?
up polar pasta.
Here it is. Oh, I have seen this. It's coming. There it is.
Yeah. No. That's fake. So this now, unfortunately, as I mentioned, I went to 5 countries on my trip. I really wanted to go to Germany, because I take German in school. So like in Spain, I knew like uno agua por favor. That's really all I could say, which is very useful. Um, and in France, I knew like merci and je ne parle pas français, which is I don't speak French. But I was very excited. I was very excited to use my German. This is actually a great story. Was like so excited because in Switzerland they speak a form of German. So I was like, I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try it. And every time I walked up to somebody, they would immediately start speaking to me in English. I couldn't figure it out. I was in Switzerland from July 3rd to July 5th. Do you know what I was wearing on July 3rd and July 4th?
U.S.
American flag stuff for the 4th
Yeah,
of
there you
July.
go.
And I could not figure it out until the night of 4th of July. Almost 48 hours into this, I was so annoyed. Why is no one talking to me in German? I had it was an Under Armour shirt, the American flag, and it said freedom across the top. I'm an idiot. I could not figure it out for the life of me. Like, I was getting mad. I was like, do I look that much like a tourist? And that was why, because I had the American flag stuff on. Um, but anyway, so this dish here is a German dish, um, called spaghetti ice, which translates to spaghetti ice cream. Um,
This is the real thing, by
and
the way.
oh my,
So that takes away from what you're thinking.
yeah. So they completely stole this polar pasta from Germany. It's like a famous dish over there. If you would go to Aldi or Aldi, however you say it, you can actually find occasionally spaghetti ice, in their freezer section. Um, and they like completely copied this. Like it's the exact thing minus the donuts. Um, So I'm a little annoyed about that because we had a whole lesson on this in school. But the Colorado Rockies now have taken it over with their polar pasta, which is not what it's called, spaghetti ice. I'm sure there's some comments about that because I was scrolling through. I saw them. I made one. That was petty. But no, so it's available in section 119 Coors Field starting on July 19th, which is when we returned from the All-Star break. It's now one of 7 new desserts coming in Major League Baseball ballparks. Other unique offerings will be sold at Citi Field, Citizens Bank Park, Fenway Park, Kauffman Stadium, Minute Maid Park, and PNC.
What was the one at Citizens Bank Park?
It's the City Churri Sandwich, smoked chicken thighs, cumin mayo, chimichurri sauce, and pico de gallo on a Licio's Bakery brioche roll. Never saw that.
Where is this? In the
you know what else I don't understand? All these other ones, like Pittsburgh got a sundae. But like they're not all. I don't know. I thought it sounded like they were all desserts. They're not. Like the Royals got some nasty sounding hot dog with onions and French fries and brisket and cheeseburgers, like in the hot dog. The Mets didn't even get food. They got a cocktail. The Red Sox got good.
What is it?
Grilled cheese stuffed with mac and cheese, pulled pork, and bacon strip.
Ooh.
I would eat that.
Yeah, we still won our taste test day at the ballpark in the off season. That you pitched on.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, maybe we'll try and work the phones on that.
Can we email?
I know the director.
We know John.
I know people that know John. Or I know John Middleton, but I know people that know the director of promotions, who is probably a better person to talk about this.
I saw John Middleton today. He was out on the field.
Well, you didn't. You saw him from afar.
Well, I was
at the game.
Row, so
Colin was at the game.
20 feet away from him.
You should have said, "Yo, I know. I work for Ben Goldstein."
I was going to, and there was the guy next to me was yelling at him about. Literally, I'm not making this up. Kidnapping Juan Soto and not letting him leave.
I agree.
Well, John was not happy. He was not happy about this.
Yeah, I mean, that was a joke. I don't agree with kidnapping people, but
Well, of course, but John.
Yeah, Juan Soto, future Phil. All right, this was a long one. There was a lot to catch up on.
It's a fun one though. Yeah.
Yes, I hope you guys enjoyed. Like, subscribe. Rate the pod. Follow both of us on X. Follow for Sports everywhere. Bell ringers on X. All the links to everything you need are in the description. Read our stories on the website.
You SeatGeek.
Yeah, SeatGeek. Thank you, SeatGeek. Hopefully the Phillies turn this around. See ya.